What is up, beautiful people? In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how you can make your first million from the markets, and that's featuring XAU USD. That's going to be a sick reel that I'm going to make, by the way, so that's what you guys were a victim of right now. Anyways, hopping into the charts, gold has been running down, right? There's been some economic news, like the truce of trade tariffs between China and USA. I've been talking about it recently. That's made gold go down because people are putting their money into more riskier assets like Bitcoin, other cryptos, and so the price of gold is obviously reflected based off of the lack of demand for it. Usually, whenever there's like wars and stuff, gold's flying. And I always believe gold is going to be a bullish pair. Now, this news is giving people an opportunity to sell gold, and I believe that as a bullish pair, especially with the way that it's been running the last few months, if we go to the monthly time frame, it's clear that it probably still wants to expand. And we rebalanced this fair value gap, so if it wants to actually go down, it would probably leave a fair value gap right here that it can reference in the next month. So I'm still expecting this to be left untouched, because if it continues going down, it's going to rebalance this, and there's going to be no fair value gap to reference. So that's why I'm kind of bullish. And then we also ran down to this weekly bullish fair value gap, right, which was below this one. We disrespected this one, ran up, and then this week melted like crazy. So that's what's been going on. And now inside of Asia session, which is going to be in an hour for me, I'm just analyzing the market beforehand and seeing where I can get in potentially for some longs. So we already opened. One of the targets that I was aiming for was right here, this daily candle with no wick, and you can see we tapped into that and started already pulling back. Not even the fact that it's a weekly fair value gap, but if we scale down to the daily, this would be a specific target that we would have been able to aim for. I just wasn't really confident in sell side because there were still a lot of signs that we were bullish, like this, for example. The daily candle right there, respecting this close, and then the next one ran down without even tapping into these bearish confluences that I was potentially going to get in short from, like this daily fair value gap and this one. So the fact that we missed it gives me a lot of confidence to actually aim for it now that we tapped into a really high time frame, significant bullish confluence. So I'm going to be expecting that price does actually run up into this one for sure, flip it, and continue higher to this candle, which also does not have a wick. You can see that these points are going to be referenced really frequently, and you should always pay attention to it whenever a candle has no wick because it's inefficiency. It's something that the market likes to run to, just like it did right here. So that's what I'm expecting now, and I just kind of wanted to talk about the setups that I was looking for and potential opportunities that there were to actually take trades. One of them was yesterday during Asia session. We were obviously looking on the 30-minute time frame for a IFEG right here, and I was like, we just swept this low that it missed last time. The fair value gap right here, it missed it right here. So we just took out that low. I'm just gonna make sure I'm not in the way. We just took out this low. We missed it last time, so we took it out, and I was saying, hey, do you guys see that? That's a 30-minute FEG that happens whenever this candle closes. So let's pull up this Telegram, actually. Okay, right here, I said, screenshotted it before it happened, and I said, just took out a low that previously missed it. In 6 minutes, this candle closes. I was talking about this bearish one. So if that closes, then it respects this fair value gap, and then a new fair value gap would form. And if we're bullish, we would expect it to flip. And that's why later I said no IFEG, no trade. Because it didn't close above this fair value gap that we were looking for it to potentially invert. It respected it and then came down and flipped this one into an IFEG, right? And then it referenced it. And I actually got into a beautiful position right here that I went short from. I closed this, and I even turned around and started buying. And because I was still hopeful that this daily candle could potentially run back up because this candle respected it. So it could have still closed bullish and at least went to these targets that it completely missed. So I was honestly still bullish, and I got completely thrown off by all this stuff that's been happening because there was still hope for buys, and I just kind of neglected the opportunity to take a sell towards the weekly fair value gap. I figured because the month is extremely bullish, it might not even happen. But it did end up happening. The other day's trade that we got was the same thing. I was aiming for 3270, which would have been a daily IFEG, and I also shared that one, where I was like, yo, what do you guys think I got in from? And it was, once again, the same exact model right here. We respected this fair value gap right here. Or actually, we disrespected it. Yeah, I remember somebody asking, but context was the same as what happened in this day. Basically, right here, there's a low that it took out, and on the 1 hour time frame, just so it's a little clear for you guys, on the 1 hour time frame, there's a fair value gap. So it basically took out the low right here, tapped into this fair value gap that it missed previously, and there was a IFEG. So it ran up, closed above, and I got into my position right here, which I shared in the Telegram and asked you guys what you guys think I got in from. Right here. So that's where I got in, and it ran like a great amount. Like this was already up 200 pips. This one ran up to like 3265 basically. 3265. So I was up almost $1,000 on that singular position. But I didn't close because my target was 3270. So 50 more pips and I would have gotten a beautiful exit right there. And it might have even started selling. But the market isn't perfect, and as I said, we don't cry about it. We move on, take the next opportunity. Like once gold actually does start running back up, the buy side is insane, and you're going to be able to make way more money than you would have lost trying to go bullish. Like the way that gold operates is that once you start thinking that it's going to start going down and you turn around and start selling, you're going to get absolutely wiped. You're going to get all your accounts blown because the market is primarily bullish. Like there's going to be some big bearish runs, but the bullish runs are always way bigger and they're always stronger. They always end up running longer because that's the long-term objective of gold. So I did end up catching some trades, but they just weren't enough for me because it didn't hit my target. I wasn't content with the profit, so I didn't end up closing any of those trades. And this week I haven't walked away with anything. Last week was really good, and we walked away with almost 4,500. So I'm grateful for that. But this week it's been a little bit of a battle. And now that we're inside of a weekly fair value gap, hopefully today we do get some beautiful setups. We do get some beautiful buy side, and we end up expanding away from here. So Asia session does actually open up in an hour, 40 minutes. And we have yet to disrespect this one. So once this is disrespected, we could potentially get a bullish position. Because you can see right here, basically exactly what's about to happen right here. It respected the fair value gap, went down a little bit, but respected the bullish one and inverted it. Then it tapped back in right here. And now we're looking like we're about to create the same exact thing right here. And this right here, which is a black candle inside of another black candle, a bearish candle inside of another bearish candle, this is a propulsion block, and price tends to expand. So I wouldn't be surprised if price just literally ran up away from this weekly fair value gap from this exact point. But yeah, that's all I'm looking for. A quick, short trade recap. Hope you guys learned something from this video. I'm sorry that you guys fell victim to the reel that I was making in the beginning. You'll see it on the Instagram page. Okay, make sure you join the Telegram, which is going to be in the bio, and drop a subscribe if you want to see more recaps on gold. I primarily trade gold, and it's the only thing that I've been trading for the last 4 or 5 years. If you figure out how to trade it properly, you're basically entering off of the low of the daily candle before it expands, which is insane. Like all my moves that I've been catching have been a minimum of like 400, 500 pips because each one of these daily candles is that big. Like look at this. From the open, if it ran down and I ended up trying to catch that position right here, which I was talking to you guys about, that closed at 3265 before it started running down. And that right there was a 400, 500 pip trade. Look at the size of these bearish candles. Gigantic. Another one. The moves on these gold candles are insane. And if you catch it from the expansion just like this, you'll get probably the biggest candles that you've ever seen, the biggest trades that you've ever seen. So say goodbye to your 100 pip trades. You're going to be catching these huge trades. And you can genuinely learn how to trade this with a edge. Because what I aim to do is trade from below the open of the daily candle like this, and we try to catch the expansion from there. But yeah, I hope you guys learned something, and I'll see you guys in the next video.